while we have you here today, maybe it would be great to kind of bring in, we kind of touched on it a little bit, but not addressed it. And I think it goes to this kind of idea or the perception that people have that Spaces protocol is just going to, eat up a bunch of Bitcoin space, and it's just not. The thing we want to do is the subspaces and how that differs completely. And maybe we can talk. You can explain a little bit. We don't have to get into all the particulars, but just give people a sense of, we can make a lot of names with no additional impact on the blockchain. So give us just like a little summary of that. And this is something that Jason and I will probably get into in much more depth in the upcoming episodes. So don't feel like you have to, talk about every last little bit of it.
Yeah. So we designed it to be like two in some ways it's inspired by traditional domains with like .com and .net and .io and stuff being the top level, and then under that the second level. It's kind of our thinking that like that design is helpful in a lot of ways. One, because you can anchor the top level in Bitcoin, and then the second level you can kind of do similar to like Lightning Network. You can with zero knowledge proofs you can scale to billions and billions, something you can't do directly on the blockchain. So for scaling reasons, it's important for us to do that, but also distribution-wise, it's important too, because there's only a certain number of like. The whole reason you have a naming system is so that you can have an easily to remember name that you can give to people, and then that can be converted to IP address or Bitcoin payment address or anything, Nostr key, or so. And there's only once you get, I don't know how many there are, like 20,000 memorable names, and then it starts to get harder. You can't get. And so, but when you scale it to the second level, it suddenly makes it a lot more. And this is what I learned from my work with the traditional domain system. Is like .io domains became very valuable. Like memorable short .io domains became very valuable because all the .coms were taken, and so like a lot of startups started building on .io domains, and then .ai. Also, a similar thing happened with that, and the reason I think is because of distribution. Like so it makes it so that there's a lot more value. There's a lot more valuable names that you can get, and you can scale it well, anchor it in Bitcoin, but scale it outside of Bitcoin. So, yeah.
You want to touch on the zero knowledge proof kind of aspect of it, the magic?
Yeah. What would you?
Well, just that the reason this scalability is enabled is kind of unlocked through this kind of magical math properties, which, as I understand it, came kind of largely from the Ethereum side of things, and that is this concept of zero knowledge proofs, that you can prove something either exists and doesn't or doesn't exist through a chain of what's called zero knowledge proofs. These become kind of a representation of the top level space and what's occupying it, and it's completely definable without divulging anything else about what else exists. So you can, and this kind of ties to a certificate, which gives the top level name owner, a definable kind of property right to that top level name, and then maybe kind of the whole. Maybe we can kind of wrap it on taking that back on chain. So if you can explain enough of it just to kind of whet people's appetite about how you get a subname, you get a certificate, and then as an optional additional step, if you don't want to be tethered to the operator, the top level name operator, you can then create a pointer. I think the important thing is to leave people with a sense that once I have this name, it becomes complete sovereign property.
Yeah. So So a second level name, is issued through like an operator. Somebody who owns a top level space can delegate like an operator, or they could do it themselves to issue second level names on this. And using zero knowledge proofs, they can issue. So like, for example, like at Bitcoin, if you wanted Andrew at Bitcoin, which you have, I think, right? You're issued like a certificate, and then you own. So the proof is committed on chain, so it's anchored in Bitcoin, and so you'll have proof that you own that name, and nobody can take it from you, not even the operator or the top level owner of at Bitcoin. If somehow they get hit by a bus and they can't update anymore, or they have malicious intent or something like that and try to do something, you can take your name online. You can take your name on chain, and it'll be treated as a top level at that point, the top level space. So basically, once you have it, nobody can take it away from you, and you'll have it, and you can have proof that you own that name, and no one else has control over it.
Right, and I think it's such a key point to make about Spaces protocol, that this sovereignty, because we see this sovereignty violated in so many other ways in the internet, and you could say, well, free speech, property, other rights are being challenged, and I think having kind of a really solid understanding and communicating it consistently that, this naming system is your property. It is something that, you might want to consider in estate planning. How does that work? Because just like, the family farm, it's theoretically going to be around forever, and that can be very, very valuable.